Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reel Me In, a movie podcast where you didn't really ask for, but hey, I'm going to give it to you anyways. This is a podcast where I talk about anything, everything, well, anything about movies. I'm your host, Chase Lee, and hey, guys, listen, first, before we begin the episode, I want to say that I got a sponsor for this episode, and it is Rebecca Maynard Photography at RebeccaMaynard.com. Now, if you don't know what this is, that's okay. That's what I'm here to explain it for. This website is run by Rebecca Maynard. I went to school with her and whatnot, and she's really good at taking photos and whatnot. And I got some photos done recently this past week for, just my YouTube channel and just be a little bit more professional in my photos and whatnot. And her depth of field and just the way she uses her colors in every single shot is just simply amazing. So if you guys are looking for some headshots because you want to be an actor, or you want some wedding photography, or you just want some portraits, you want some engagement photos, baby photos, whatever the hell, then you got it. I recommend her a lot. And if you want some examples or whatever, go on my Facebook page. My profile picture is done by her. My YouTube banner, I use one of her photos and stuff. So I'm kind of just like using her all over the place. So yeah, I am sponsored by her for this episode. So there you go. Go check her out and tell her that I sent you. And so welcome to the podcast, guys. This is where I talk about movies and shit. And if you're new, welcome. What I do is I'll go over some movie news, some movie trailers, and I will give you my thoughts on movies coming out that weekend. And the two movies up for on the docket today are Sausage Party and Pete's Dragon. And it is one of the few episodes in my repertoire that basically are both porno names, and they are both sexual innuendos. Which one's the kids' film and which one's the R-rated raunchy comedy? I have no fucking clue. So, no, you should know by now. But, I'm really excited to do this episode, guys. So, welcome, all everyone. If you were watching on Facebook Live, then comment down below and join in the conversation. And, Spreaker, YouTube, if you want to, comment as well, I will do my best to respond. Before I begin to the actual episode, it was really funny because last week I tried Facebook Live at the top of my computer. That way I can kind of like look at you guys as I'm talking and whatnot. But I started recording or whatever, and my computer was so hot that it actually drained all of my my phone battery, and my phone died. Like it just drained it. My computer just said, "Fuck it, I'm done. You're game over." And I was like, oh, okay. So I went back to the side view, which is, I know it's not appealing because you guys are looking at me from a side or whatever, but I try to, look at every single camera and whatnot evenly. So I apologize for that if you do not like the side look. But I figured you guys like this on Facebook Live, so I didn't want to quit it. All right, and I guess I don't have this thing organized. So one last thing before I begin: if you want an audio-only version of the podcast, link will be in the description below. And if you want a video version, and you are listening on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, or SoundCloud, link will be in the description below. All right, so without further ado, guys, let's get into this. Let's get into this shit, if you will. All right, so the first piece of news, let's move on to the movie news, a little bit of appetizers to wet your mouth. That sounded gross, but then again, we're talking about Sausage Party today. So, let's talk about some movie news. The first piece of news is that Man of Steel 2 has been announced for development. Now, if you guys don't know this, Man of Steel it came out in 2013, and then, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice came out, earlier this year, and now we have Suicide Squad. So the three movies deep into this new DC cinematic universe. Now, I am one of those guys, I'm one of those crazy fuckers, I know, that loved Man of Steel. And I really, really wanted to see a sequel after the first one was done. I even loved the movie when I saw it in theaters, because usually movies take a couple times for people to kind of love it or whatever. Man of Steel was one of those for me that I just loved it instantly. I wanted to see more of it. And I'm more of a fan of kind of like the darker take of Superman, for what we got versus, the Christopher Reeve Superman, that has to save a kitten from a tree and you call it a day. Sorry. There you go. So, I really love Man of Steel and whatnot, but Man of Steel 2 is happening. Now, I'm really excited to see where they're going to go with this, because if you guys have seen Batman v Superman, I'm not going to spoil anything, but, something catastrophic happens to Superman. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens moving forward. But to have a solo Man of Steel movie it's going to be really cool because now that they've gotten Lex Luthor out of the way, now they can, branch out and use different villains and whatnot and have his own solo movie, drive his character even more. And especially after the events of BVS, that's why I'm telling you, like, when you see that movie and you see what happens to him, it's going to be interesting to see how they progress his character and just how they expand the mythology overall. But I'm really excited for it. So it looks like they're really going to get into fast development of it, having a Man of Steel 2. And I know the Batman movie is coming with Ben Affleck's Batman stuff. So those are probably the two standalones I'm looking forward to the most, only because I've seen, I've seen the Batman movie before and I've seen Man of Steel 1. So I'm excited to kind of see where they go from there. The next piece of news is that Brie Larson, good old Brie Larson, she was cast as Captain Marvel, I think a couple weeks ago. And I've been a fan of hers ever since I saw her in Short Term 12 and 21 Jump Street. 21 Jump Street showed me that she has comedic chops and she is willing to kind of do that raunchy route. And then Short Term 12, and especially Room, the one she won her Oscar for, showed me and showed everyone else in the world that this chick can act. She not only is she absolutely drop dead gorgeous, but she's uber talented, and she's like in her 20s. So like she's still young and she's still going to progress her career and just grow. And it's just so amazing to see. But speaking of growing her career, she's going to be directing a movie. It's called Unicorn Store. And, I don't really know what the movie's about, but it's going to be a smaller indie film because that's what she's best at. Brie Larson, when she does like Short Term 12 and Room, it shows that it doesn't matter the size of the budget, she is going to just kill it and just rock it. So her directing her first kind of feature, I'm really fucking excited for. Like, you guys have no idea. Like I said, when you see Room and when you see Short Term 12, her acting is so out there and just so outstanding that you want to see more from her. And the fact that she's going to step behind the camera and direct other actors and actresses and bring the performance out of them, knowing that she can deliver a performance herself, is awesome. And she's going to be the main character in Unicorn Store. So she's going to be directing herself. But I know that, since she's an Oscar winner and stuff, like, she's going to deliver either way. So, but I'm excited to see what she's going to do and kind of do what, what a Chris Evans does or like a Robert Downey Jr. and do these big Marvel films and then do smaller indie films after that. And the fact that she's going to like kind of direct her first one out of the gate as Captain Marvel now, that's pretty cool. So I'm really excited to see that. All right, the next piece of news. Oh, dear Lord. All right, so last week we talked about the Rotten Tomatoes discussion of, that one 15-year-old kid who just eats Cheetos and Mountain Dew Code Red in his mother's basement every single week, petitioning to get Rotten Tomatoes off the interwebs because they were very pissed that Suicide Squad has a low score. Well, the drama continues. Not from that story, but from another story. Now, there's this kid from, I believe, Europe. It was like Norway or something. I should probably do my research more, but you guys know that I don't do that. This kid he wants to sue Warner Brothers because of false advertising because the Joker is not in it that much. And I don't know the logistics of the case. I just know that that was it. And I read the article or whatever. And I'm just like, dear God, like, are people just getting so butthurt over this movie? Like, we shut down Rotten Tomatoes and now this. And it's like, okay. When you watch the trailers, the Joker is in there quite a bit, and they're really pushing him to advertise, to bring people into the movie. I don't see this false advertising. I see it as a dick move that they did that, and they didn't show half of that footage in the movie that they showed in the trailer. I don't consider it false advertising though, because guess what? The Joker was in there. If the Joker was not in the movie, period, there might be a different case. But they advertised the Joker was going to be in there, and guess what? He is in there. Granted, it is a very small role, but he is in there. That's not false advertising. That's just a dick move on Warner Brothers because they did have a lot of footage from Jared Leto's Joker, and they didn't use the majority of it. So, yeah, it's not really false advertising. It's just a dick move on their part. And, after seeing the movie twice, I still firmly believe that the Joker should have been the main villain, and he should have not been sidelined in this weird, side plot and really kind of develop his character that way, or just wait until you put him in another film where he can be the main villain and whatnot. So, once again, can't really get mad at these people because they're 15-year-old kids. They don't really know better. They don't know what the real world is. So, it's cute. It's adorable. But they're not going to fucking win these, petitions and lawsuits and whatnot. Just calm down. Go, I don't know, go sit in the corner with your little graham crackers and juice boxes and just simmer down, folks. Just simmer the fuck down. So, yeah, I can't stand these fucking people that want to do lawsuits and petitions and whatnot. So, okay. And the last piece of news is another piece of superhero news. And the main villain of Aquaman has been released. And it has been announced that Black Manta will be the main villain for Aquaman. Now, I didn't know who Black Manta was. I know who Aquaman is because I'm not really deep in the comic book lore of most characters. But as these movies come out and stuff, I'm starting to research more and really kind of get into the mythology of all these characters, villains, and side characters. And I was looking at Black Manta. I'm going to pull it up for you guys. This is a really great villain. I was reading it, and apparently this is Black Manta was a little boy that actually got kidnapped, and he was forced to work on a ship, and he was sexually abused by his captors. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, shit, this is fucking dark. Yeah, damn right you are. But when he's on this ship and he's being held captive, he actually sees Aquaman, and Aquaman does not help him. Like, he actually cries out for help and stuff, and he signals him, and Aquaman doesn't see him. So, of course, he grows up, and he basically wants to take revenge on him because, he kind of fucked him over as a child. And then he gets this, like, black suit with, like, these giant, like, praying mantis eyes that are red and stuff, and they shoot laser beams and whatnot. And after reading that, and that's just a basic logistics of the character. I'm not like gonna get super deep into it, but reading his backstory and how damaged he is, I'm excited to see like them go for it and go like this dark route because Aquaman is going to be directed by James Wan, who has done like the Insidious films and the Conjuring films and the first Saw and whatnot. He's one of my favorite horror directors around, and he's going to take this property and turn it into like a dark horror film. And having this backstory of the villain, I really hope they go with it because that's going to really kind of bring the character depth that we need from a villain to feel a little sympathy for him. So if they go this route and they use that backstory, I'm totally down for this. I'm excited to see this movie, especially since James Wan is going to be directing this film. I am excited. Holy shit. Just reading that backstory made my little hairs on the back of my neck just kind of stand up, kind of wiggle around, kind of cringe a little bit, and just was like, yeah, I'm ready for this. So that's it for the news, guys. What was your favorite piece of news this week? Mine is definitely that Brie Larson is going to be directing her first indie feature. I'm excited to see what she does with it. So let's move on, guys, to another appetizer of the podcast, and that would be trailers. There was a bunch of trailers that dropped, so let's talk about them. All right, the first trailer I want to talk about is Sea of Trees. Now, this one stars Ken Watanabe and Matthew McConaughey. All right. I can't do it this early in the morning, but maybe my impression will get better as I talk about the trailer. So, Sea of Trees is about this guy, played by Matthew McConaughey, who is feeling a little bit depressed in his life, and he wants to go kill himself. And so he goes to Japan, where there is this, place, the Sea of Trees, essentially, where people go to commit suicide. It's like a suicide communal ground, and it's kind of disturbing. This movie is going to be directed by Gus Van Sant, who has directed movies like Good Will Hunting and Milk and stuff. So he's a very prestigious director that really kind of brings out these deep, rich stories and just has these great characters that you just want to kind of follow and whatnot. So this movie premiered at, I believe, Sundance, or I think it was like TIFF last year. I forgot where it premiered, but it premiered. People fucking hated this movie. Like, legit, like, they want to, like, throw, their fists at their computer screen as they're watching it and whatnot, when they're, well, not computer screen, but, the movie theater screen. I watched the trailer, and yes, it is very depressing, and it really has like kind of this dour tone, but I feel like it could be a really good drama, like a really good kind of just drama that just really kind of gets under your skin with like you know, problems that everyone goes through and whatnot. You could probably relate to some of these things and whatnot. So watching the trailer, I feel like McConaughey's going to give a good performance. Kim Watanabe's going to give a good performance. It's shot very well. It's very, like I said, it's got those like gray tones or whatever, so it's kind of bringing down the mood. But then again, that's what the whole movie's about, is committing suicide. So, yeah, the trailer looks good. I'm not going to say it looks like great or anything. I'm not like, super stoked to see it, but it looks good. It looks good. It looks like a good little movie that you would want to go to if you're just feeling down or if you went through a breakup or whatever. So, yeah. and plus, I love me some McConaughey. I love him ever since Dazed and Confused, man. Just even some of the shitty rom-coms, man. Like, I don't blame him. Like, listen, if you looked like Matthew McConaughey and you had a six-pack like he did back in the day, and the studios offered you $10 million to do a movie, you fucking do it. But now he's starting to come back on track and do a lot more dramatic work, like he did with like A Time to Kill and whatnot back in the day before he did go on the rom-com romp. With movies like Lincoln Lawyer, Killer Joe, Dallas Buyers Club, and then the awesome 8 episodes of True Detective. So McConaughey, keep doing your thing, but this trailer looks pretty good. But then again, I like depressing shit, so take that for what you will. All right, the next trailer I want to talk about is it's a TV. It's a TV one. It's a Netflix. This one is Luke Cage. Now, if you guys don't know who Luke Cage is, he is the guy with impenetrable skin. He's very strong and stuff, and basically you cannot puncture him because he will kill you. No, Luke Cage is a part of the Marvel Netflix universe and stuff with like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and now Iron Fist. Luke Cage is now getting his own show because he first appeared in Jessica Jones last year. And I really liked his character. I liked his chemistry with Jessica Jones. I liked his powers and stuff. The fact that he could flick a fucking guy like on the cheek and he could just like fly across the room or whatever. It is great. So he's getting his own series, and it comes out September 30th, I believe, or at the end of September. And the trailer dropped, and I really loved it, man. It's got like this like gritty urban feel to it. It's got so much spunk and charisma and like just so much style to the Luke Cage character and whatnot. I feel like this could be the best one next to Daredevil, because Daredevil is an amazing show. If you guys have not seen Daredevil, for the love of God, go watch it. Even if you're not a superhero fan, it's a really great drama with superhero elements in it, from a lawyer that is blind and he can basically kick ass. But yeah, what I like about these Netflix shows is that they feel gritty and realistic and stuff, and very, very grounded, as if you could find your fucking neighbor with these powers across the street. This is what the show is like, and that's what Luke Cage is bringing. And the action looks really cool. Looks like there's gonna be more action in this than in Daredevil and Jessica Jones. This trailer's fucking awesome. I cannot wait for Luke Cage and then Iron Fist and the Defenders. The whole Marvel Netflix universe is probably my favorite thing Marvel has ever slapped their name on. Yes, that includes like anything from Disney, Fox, Sony, whatever. This is the best thing they've ever produced. It is great stuff. All right, the next trailer I want to talk about is Bad Santa 2. Okay, so the first Bad Santa came out, I believe, what was it, 13 years ago, like 2003. And I really like Billy Bob Thornton in it. It's just a really crass, like, crude comedy, but, deep underneath the layers of the crude crassness, there is a lot of heart to it and stuff, and he really does seem like a likable person and towards the end of the film, which is very admirable on the director's part, because his character is very vile in the beginning of the movie. But for some weird reason, you just want to follow this guy's adventures and like his elf partner in crime and whatnot. And this one, they try to steal from like I believe it's like a charity or something like that. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, I just oh man. Like, so the first one, they want to steal money from a mall and stuff. Like, it's very genius. Like, they apply for themselves to be the Santa at the malls and whatnot, and then they steal money at night and whatnot. This one, they're stealing from like a charity and whatnot. It's just, It's a ridiculous trailer. It's red band and stuff. It didn't really like make me like laugh out loud, but I enjoyed seeing these characters back. I enjoyed seeing Billy Bob Thornton come back. The fucking little kid from the first one, he's all grown up now, and he didn't change. Like, his face still looks the same. And it's like, that's creepy as hell. So I think it looks very entertaining, and I'm definitely looking forward to it, because I really do like the first Bad Santa a lot. I think it's a very underrated kind of Christmas classic of a movie, if you will. If you want something different than like a family-oriented movie, you can watch something that's R-rated and dirty. So I really love Bad Santa, and Bad Santa 2 looks pretty damn cool. The next one I want to talk about is Arrival. Now, this one, I believe, yeah, this one's my favorite one of the week for sure. Arrival is directed by Denis Villeneuve, who has done films like Prisoners, Enemy, Sicario. He's going to be doing the new Blade Runner sequel, and now he's doing Arrival. And Arrival stars Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, and essentially, these aliens come down or whatever, and they are sent to go communicate with them and kind of understand why they're here and whatnot. This trailer, it's just a fucking teaser, but it ropes me in. The atmosphere of the movie is palpable. I fucking love the way it looks. It feels like a District 9, where it's like you could actually see this happening in the backyard or whatever, and you're just kind of witnessing all this, and you're believing it right there, because you see it and stuff. It doesn't look fake or whatever. It looks like an alien mixed with a 2001: A Space Odyssey. It looks really fucking cool, and it's just a teaser, short, sweet, and to the point. The atmosphere is there. The tone is there. It is all there. I cannot fucking wait. Just watch this trailer, and if you're sold, I would recommend not watching any more like full-length trailers, just because I feel like this teaser was just enough to hook you, but I don't really want any more trailers, because I know for a fact that this is going to it might ruin some like plots or twists or whatever, because you know that the trailers nowadays just really love to fucking put the whole movie in there and just ruin your day. All right. The next trailer I want to talk about, I don't really want to talk about it, but it was one of the new ones that came up. So here we go. Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. Now, if you guys are thinking just like I was, you're like, oh dear Lord, there's more of them. Guess what? I'm sorry to ruin your Sunday. Yeah, no, Resident Evil: The Final Chapter released its first trailer online. It looks like garbage, just like the rest of them. I think the last one I saw in theaters was like number 4. I don't even remember like the names to them. Like, you have Resident Evil. I'm gonna see if I can do this like at the top of my head. Resident Evil Apocalypse, Resident Evil Extinction, Resident Evil Afterlife, Resident Evil Retribution, and I think the 6th one was like Resident Evil Zombie Testicles. I have no fucking clue, because I don't listen. They're not good movies. And now, if you like them on a guilty pleasure level, have at it, Hoss. You do your thing. But for me personally, I just don't find them entertaining or even visually appealing. So, yeah, this trailer just pretty much confirms that. And the fact that it's the final chapter, it's not going to be the final chapter, but it will be the final chapter in this storyline, whatever storyline is left. So, yeah, I just it's Resident Evil. What would you guys expect me to say? Come on. Yeah, that is it for that trailer. Please let me know down below if you actually like these movies. I'm curious. The next one I want to talk about is Mr. Church. And this one stars Eddie Murphy, and it's a drama about this guy played by Eddie Murphy, who basically is like a caretaker to this young little girl, and basically just sees her grow up and have a kid of her own. And that was basically the whole movie, right? Because the trailer just ruined it. It looks cool. I guess cool as in like drama. I don't know. It looks like Eddie Murphy's really kind of going back to his dramatic roots and whatnot, and kind of really show us that he actually is a talented actor and whatnot. He just doesn't need to be in these shitty comedies, and it looks like he's going to really kind of bring not like an Oscar caliber performance, but a very good performance, and something that you could leave the theater going, hey, that was pretty good. So, Mr. Church, drama, Eddie Murphy. Check the trailer if you want to. The next one I want to talk about is Allied, and this is a teaser trailer from Robert Zemeckis, who's the guy that has brought us Back to the Future, Castaway, Forrest Gump, even with the recent one, Flight, and even the Walk from last year, which I really enjoyed. The Walk. I still can't believe that movie failed at the box office. But this one stars Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard, and I don't know what it's really about. I just know that Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard are like running from Nazis, I believe. I don't know. The trailer's really short, and maybe the story was played out and I'm just dumb. But it really is just a teaser to kind of just show you that, hey, this is coming. So I'm sure the full trailer will have like a better detail of the story. But seeing Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard together is really cool because Marion kind of looks like Angelina Jolie. And Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt are married. They have great chemistry and stuff. Marion Cotillard looks like she's going to have really great chemistry with Brad Pitt and stuff. And I'm always excited to see a Robert Zemeckis movie. Like I said, I really loved Flight, and I really like The Walk quite a bit. So for me personally, like Zemeckis has been killing it as of recent. So yeah, there you go. And that's it for that trailer. Like I said, I can't really talk. It's like a minute long, but it looks really cool. I'm a sucker for World War II era type movies with either Nazis or the Holocaust, whatever. I know it's really horrible to say, but I'm a fan of that time in history because it was one of the most deplorable times in history, and I kind of just want to understand like how we got to a point as a human race. But it's for a different podcast. And the last trailer, you guys wanted me to talk about it, and I'm not really a Star Wars fan, but it dropped. The Rogue One main trailer dropped, and it is the first trailer that this movie has dropped because they released a teaser a while back. Didn't really do much for me. This one, once again, guys, I apologize, and I know I'm going to piss people off. I am not a Star Wars fan. Never have been, never will. I think they're fine movies. They're entertaining movies. They're whatever. They're kids movies. They are. They're nice sci-fi adventure movies, and if you like them, that's totally fine. And I'm not going to sound like a hypocrite because I like comic book stuff, and those can sometimes be very kid-driven and oriented, so I get it. You cling on to whatever you want to cling on to. As far as Star Wars goes, not really a huge fan. However, I like this trailer quite a bit. I think it looks very good. I think the cinematography is breathtaking. I think the action sequences look really well handled because when they said that this is going to be a war film, I really hoped that they would go into like these dark, kind of horrific, violent places, and I think they're going to do that. The characters look really cool. The world building looks really cool and stuff. I'm actually looking forward to this one more than The Force Awakens, only because I don't have any connection to any of these characters. Now, when The Force Awakens came out, people have a connection to Han Solo, Princess Leia, and Luke Skywalker and stuff. Since I'm not really a huge fan of the movies, I don't have that connection. But maybe I enjoyed this one more because I don't have a connection to any of these characters, and it's kind of like a brand new property. So maybe that's why I'm looking forward to it the most. But it looks like a really epic war film. I like the trailer quite a bit. So Rogue One, the main trailer, gets a thumbs up from a non-Star Wars fan. So there you go. So that's it for the trailers, guys. Guys, what was your favorite trailer? My favorite trailer. Oh, man, that Luke Cage trailer was so good. I probably have to go with Arrival, even though it was only a teaser. I enjoyed the hell out of it. So Luke Cage and Arrival will be my favorite one. So what are some of your favorite trailers from this week? There was a lot of them. Comment, place on my face. Let me know. Guys, we are out of the appetizers. We've finished the plates, and we've pushed the plates to the side. Now, let's get into the main course. The main course of the podcast, which you guys are all here for. And that would be my reviews of Sausage Party and Pete's Dragon. Which one's the porno? Which one's the R-rated comedy? Which one's the kids movie? You can't fucking tell because they're both sexual innuendos. Okay. Let's do Sausage Party first. Now, let me just preface this by saying this. I am a huge Seth Rogen fan. I love Seth Rogen. I love most of his movies. I think he's great comedically. I think he's great dramatically. This guy is a talent. Whether you want to believe it or not, he can create funny movies. He can create entertaining movies. He can deliver performances out of the blue that just catches you off guard and you're like, whoa, that was Rogen. Like when you watch Steve Jobs from last year or even Take This Waltz, smaller films that he's in, he's really good. So I know that he's got talent under there, and just a lot of people dismiss him because he makes a lot of movies with a bunch of weed, dick, and fart jokes. I get it. I totally fucking get it. But for some weird reason, when he writes them and he constructs them with, his improv and having his other actors feed off that improv, it works. It works for me. So I don't know how to explain it. So I was really looking forward to Sausage Party quite a bit. I think it was in my top 5 anticipated for the year. That's how much I was looking forward to it. So when you have like this R-rated animated feature and you're going to deliver it in such a crude fashion and whatnot, it could have the standings of being like this crazy screwball comedy that you just are entertained by from start to finish. Now, I saw this movie, and I gotta say, this movie is not particularly funny. However, this movie is extremely clever and smart. What do I mean by that? Well, let's get real and break this down, folks, because this is going to get tricky. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will get into some of the main themes of the movie that will surprise you because I did not see them coming, and that's why it kind of threw me off a little bit. So let's review Sausage Party. Let's start with the writing and directing. Now, it is directed by one of the guys that did the first Shrek and one of the guys that has done Thomas the Tank Engine shorts. So what a great combo. What a great duo of people. For the most part, I thought they directed a very entertaining movie. Like I said, some of the dialogue and some of the jokes really fall flat, or they're just really trying too hard and being on the nose with some of the food humor mixed in with like sex humor. I get it. I realize hot dog bun, slip it in there. I get all of that. However, I thought it was a little too on the nose and they were trying too hard to get that laugh. However, this movie is entertaining from start to finish, and it's a lot smarter than it gives off. When I was going into this movie, I was expecting a laugh romp, a riot, and just, kind of crying in my seat and just, enjoying life. But this film has a lot of integrity to it. And it has a lot of great themes and elements to this that kind of just throw you off guard. For instance, there is a lot of religious aspects in this film. There's a lot of sexuality explained in this film. There's a lot of social classes and what it means to live and what's your purpose in life. And coming from an R-rated like raunchy movie like Sausage Party, I was really surprised that they went that route with some of their stuff in the story, and I thought it really worked. It was like this weird satire on life told in animated food form. It was genius. So with the writing and with the directing, because it's a collaborative effort in this one for sure, I really enjoyed all the undertones of the serious issues plaguing our society today. I really, really fucking love that stuff. But this movie is not particularly funny. There are a couple of jokes that landed, and it really hit me, and I was like, that was fantastic. But for the most part, I feel like they were trying too hard being on the nose with the food, sexual humor and stuff, and the vulgarity and the cursing and stuff. And you guys know this. You guys watch the podcast all the time. I fucking curse all the time. However, I did think that they were trying a little too hard once again in the cursing and be like, oh, look, it's a hot dog saying fuck or motherfucker or, shit or whatever. So I get it. They're cursing and whatnot, but there were a couple of lines where it felt like they just threw in the F word in between two words that didn't really flow well. So it was just kind of like a really kind of jagged sentence or whatever. So I appreciate the creativity in this film because it is super creative. It is very inventive in terms of the way a comedy can be portrayed. Because most comedies are straight up raunch, and this film is straight up raunch. I will tell you that right now. But the undertones to it really stand this movie above most comedies and make it smarter than it actually is. And I have to give huge credit to the directors and the writers, which includes Seth Rogen and his partner Evan Goldberg, who came up with this idea and really kind of hone in like this weird mishmash of a satire on society. I thought for the most part they nailed it, except for the humor. Acting-wise, so voice acting, Seth Rogen is a hot dog. Sure. He's Seth Rogen. Kristen Wiig plays, the hot dog bun. She's fine. I think everyone for the most part does fine. I guess one of my weaknesses is I don't understand why they got Edward Norton or Salma Hayek to do this movie. I get it. They're probably friends with them and whatnot, but they really didn't need to be in there. You could have gotten anyone to do their voices. It wouldn't have been, you couldn't even really tell. Paul Rudd, this fucking guy, he is a chameleon, because I knew he was going to be in this movie because he's listed in the credits, but I didn't see which character he was playing. So as the movie was, playing, I was like, who is this guy? And so at the end of the credits, you find out who, and I'm like, oh my God. He altered his voice so much that I couldn't even fucking tell it was him. Same thing with Bill Hader. Bill Hader's parts were very, very funny, and I couldn't tell it was him either. So Paul Rudd and Bill Hader definitely stand out in their chameleonisms in this movie, and I couldn't even tell they were them, but they delivered a pretty funny performance. My standout, though, and this is going to sound very weird because I really do like Michael Cera quite a bit, but he was the best part about the movie. Now, some of the things his little hot dog character does are a little out there and kind of a little overdone, but then again, this whole movie's over the top, so it didn't fucking bother me. But I really like his voice, in an animated film. Now, he's going to be playing Robin in the Batman Lego movie next year. So this is kind of like a little tease as to how good he can be. But listen, I like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World quite a bit. I like him in Arrested Development, and I like him in Superbad. That's about as far as I'll take it. And even in This Is the End, he played himself, and that was really funny. But he's really damn good at voice work, and he needs to really consider revitalizing his career by doing more animated films, whether it be for kids or whether it be for adults. He's really fucking good. I believed that little hot dog was alive. I didn't hear Michael Cera's voice. I heard this little deformed hot dog trying to figure out his place in life. So I thought he really delivered in this film the most. He was definitely my favorite part. Cinematography-wise, and this will go into the animation. I'll kind of talk about the animation as well. I thought the animation was fine for what it is, because it is going to be an R-rated comedy, and they're not going to have this grand, like, super detailed animation and whatnot. So I know it's going to be like kind of B-level, a little bit professional, whatever, because it's not going to have that, the big budgets of like a Pixar or like, a Sony animated film or a Warner Brothers animated film. So I get that. But the animation, for the most part, looks fine. It looks clean. It's very bright and colorful and stuff, and it kind of adds to the overcooked campiness of making fun of like the Disney films and the Pixar films and whatnot. So I thought for the most part, the cinematography looked fine for what the movie is and whatnot. And some of the city scenes, when they finally exit the supermarket and go into the city and even go into someone's house, I thought that looked really cool. And the way they constructed the animation paired up with the shots and whatnot, especially the scene in the trailer where the food goes into the house or whatever and they're getting chopped up or whatever. That scene was horrific. It was amazing. Like, horrific as in the sense of like it felt like this weird like horror movie that you were watching, and it was kind of shot and lit well and whatnot. So I really love that scene quite a bit. So the cinematography overall is pretty good. Editing wise, the movie's an hour and a half. It starts out with a bang, and it starts out with really setting this tone, really displaying like what this movie's going to be, and it heads at 1,000 miles an hour. So I was really kind of hooked from the beginning. In the middle of the movie, I kind of felt the drag a little bit, just because like I said, it wasn't that funny, but it was just really intriguing and entertaining. So I was just kind of there was a lot of, like I said, a lot of serious stuff in the movie, and that's not a bad thing. Like I said, I praise that, but it does slow the movie down a bit because this is a comedy first and foremost, and since this wasn't that funny in my opinion, the energy kind of dies a little bit, but intrigued and entertained once again. So overall, guys, I gotta say this. This is one of my favorites name on. However, it is definitely not the funniest movie he's ever touched. But I do applaud the directors, the writers, and producers to really kind of bring a more deeply affected movie than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be this fucking laugh riot for an hour and a half, wham, bam, get in the theater, get out, and have a good day. However, I really love the religious undertones so much. So much. Like, you have no fucking clue how smart it is. It is super clever. And it's such a great satire on society. Like, in the human race in general. I don't know how to explain it. Just go watch the movie. But I'm telling you this now, so when you go see the movie, don't be discouraged if it's not that funny, but it's actually got a lot of important things to say. So overall, I really enjoyed this film. Entertaining, not really funny. Enjoyed the voice work for the most part. Michael Cera is a standout, and it's got a lot of great things to say. Guys, I'm going to give Sausage Party a B-. I still think you should go see it. Yes, it is very vulgar, and yes, at the end of the movie, there is some stuff happening. And also, I forgot to mention, at the end of the movie, the way the movie ends, I didn't mind the ending. I wish they would have extended it a little more with more footage of live action, and that's all I will say. But yeah, I forgot to mention that. But it doesn't really bother me. I kind of wish I just would have saw like maybe 5 minutes more with whatever they were trying to accomplish. But yeah, just be forewarned. This is an R-rated movie. Don't bring your fucking kids to see it. It's vulgar as all shit. God, there's so much stuff in there to where if it was live action, it would definitely be NC-17. So just be forewarned if you're not into that stuff. But for me personally, that is into the R-rated raunchy stuff, Sausage Party is a very entertaining one, and a very great satire. So I really enjoyed it. B-, guys. So what did you guys think of Sausage Party? And are you plan on seeing it? You don't want to see it? Wait until rental or whatever. Comment in the place, rub my face, and let me know. All right, so let's jump into movie number 2, and that would be Pete's Dragon. Now, this is the kids film of the bunch, even though Pete's Dragon still sounds like a sexual innuendo, just like Sausage Party. This is a remake of the 70s film. I believe it was the 70s. I don't know. I wasn't alive back then, but from what I read, it was the 77. I forgot. But anyways, Pete's Dragon, the old one was this film with an animated dragon mixed in with a live action setting of this boy who basically grows up with this dragon or whatever, and then people want to try to take it down. And, you know, the kid tries to show them, oh, hey, the dragon's not evil or whatever. It's a very, like, generic story. It's not anything that's, like, out of the ordinary or anything that they were trying to do new or whatever. It's just something they remade and updated the technology and whatnot. So I wasn't looking forward to Pete's Dragon, but a lot of people that I know that have seen it really, really fucking loved it. So case in point, one of the guys I do videos for, Scott Menzel on We Live Entertainment, he fucking hated Sausage Party. So I already knew that going in, but he convinced me, and he actually really liked Pete's Dragon a lot. So I was like, okay, so I'm totally on board for this. So I wasn't expecting much, but when I got out of the movie, I was surprised. It was a nice little solid family film. So let's get real and break this down. We'll start with the writing and directing. Now, in terms of the way the movie is written, once again, this is not anything new that we have seen. Boy ends up with a dragon in the woods, lives there for 6 years. People find him. People, take the boy into a hospital. The dragon looks for the boy. People get scared of the dragon. Some idiots in the town try to take it down. Then the boy tries to convince them that it's stuff, like with like little like monster movies with kids and stuff. Like, it's the same deal, it's not anything exciting or new. But as far as a solid film, I think it's really well handled in terms of the story and the characters and whatnot. And I think this is a movie that you can bring your family to, and bring your kids, and bring your grandma, bring your fucking dog. I don't know, but it's just a really kind of just nice little family film. And I really got to give them props, because at the beginning of the movie starts out with a really dark thing. And I'm like, holy shit, like this is a Disney movie. So I really like the opening quite a bit. It's a really powerful opening. But then yeah, after that it just kind of dribbles on and kind of does their thing or whatnot. There are some characters that don't really need to be there or a little bit underdeveloped, but like I said, it didn't really bother me because I felt like the magical quality of the film, and it just felt like a really magical adventure. That's something that Disney would do and whatnot. I mean, they have done it. This is a remake. So as far as the directing goes, I think what he did was he constructed a pretty, like I said, just a magical adventure that you can just enjoy. I mean, there's really nothing more to say. There's nothing new that's attempted. There's nothing old or tiring that's like going to piss you off or anything, but it is a story that's been done over and over again. But I think the director puts his stamp on it by making the dragon look very adorable and pettable and very dog-like and stuff. So I think the director, for the most part, gave us a solid movie. I know I'm saying solid a lot because it just is. There's nothing really that excited me about it. There's nothing that's terrible about it. It's just like, it's fine. As far as the acting goes, the little boy that plays Pete, he does a pretty good job. I really liked his performance. Bryce Dallas Howard, she's fine. Robert Redford, sure. Wes Bentley, sure. This is not a film that you walk out and go, well, hot damn, that acting deserves an Oscar nomination. It's fine. It's serviceable. Let's put it that way. Because I've never been like a huge fan of Bryce Dallas Howard, but I understand that she's got some talent. There's glimpses in her performances scattered throughout her filmography that I go, I see it. I see what people see, but I'm not really like blown away by her. The worst person absolutely in this film is Carl Urban. Listen, I love me some Carl Urban. Just saw him in Star Trek Beyond a few weeks ago. Great dude. I liked him in Dread. He when he pops up in films, I look forward to him because he's got like this gruffness about him that's just so kick-assery. So I enjoy him. However, every single line of dialogue that he delivered out of his mouth in this movie, I was on the verge of like laughing. Like I smiled and just kind of grinned or whatever because it was just so poorly executed and stuff. And like he would just deliver it. It was just very stale and whatnot. And he's the bad guy in the film. He wants to take down the dragon. I don't know, fondle it or whatever the fuck he was going to do with it. But yeah, just every line he delivered was just so piss poor. There's a dragon over there. Like that's how it fucking was. So yeah, I didn't really care for Carl Urban, but everyone else is fine. Cinematography, there's a lot of great looks in this film. I really like the fact that this director kind of captured like the small town mentality, and I liked just the way the town looked and stuff. It looked very, very old and vintage and whatnot. It looks very small and very communal and whatnot, like as if everyone knows each other. The woods looked really good. I like the greens that popped out, and it kind of adds to this whole like magical adventure by making it look like this magical fairy tale looking place. It kind of had the same color scheme as the movie I saw earlier this summer was Swiss Army Man. That movie set in the woods a lot and stuff. So I kind of felt like they looked kind of similar in terms of the way the mystical, magical element of it. And the way the dragon looks, the CGI looks really good and stuff, and the fur on the dragon looks really good. The colors on it and stuff, so it matches with the cinematography very, very well. It pops out whenever it needs to. It blends in whenever it needs to. It's a very well shot movie. Editing wise, I believe the movie is a couple hours. I believe the movie has a great opening. It kind of has a really good follow up after that. But the middle of the movie, when Pete is out of the forest, it's like, oh, okay, it's whatever. It's just like average at that point. So I liked every element of when Pete was with the dragon or when Pete was with the dragon in the woods and whatnot. So yeah, the way it's edited, it's kind of like a hit and miss. It's like it's very powerful. It hooks you. After that, it's really good. And then it just kind of dips down. You're like, okay, is this movie about to be over? And then when you see the final act come, and you're like, all right, thank you. But yeah, it's fine to sit through for the most part. I think your kids will be entertained. And I think if you're a fan of the original, I think you'll be entertained by this. But I'm not going to say it's like, going to be this destined classic or whatever. So my overall thoughts, guys, I think it's a very solid family film. It's cutesy. The dragon is cute, cuddly or whatever. I want to cuddle that fucker. The performances are fine. Carl Urban is awful. The story is very generic, but in the terms of the way it's delivered, I think it's just delivered as a nice family film that you can just take everyone to. It's very harmless, but overall, guys, I kind of have a soft spot for it. Even though it's just very generic and average, it's delivered quite well. So I'm going to give Pete's Dragon, the 2016 version, a solid B. There you go. So, yeah, it was actually a pretty good weekend, guys. You know, Pete's Dragon, a B, and Sausage Party, a B minus. I think this was a very good weekend for films. And next weekend, I'm really looking forward to the next slate, but we'll get to that in just a second. So, have you seen Pete's Dragon, or have you even heard of it? Did you even know they were remaking it? Did you even know it was in theaters? Comment in the place around my face and let me know. All right, guys, let's get into the box office results. Once again, I forgot my header. Hold on, guys. Okay, so let's do it, guys. Let's talk about the box office. All right. Let's refresh this. Ooh. Oh, okay. I like these numbers. All right, so coming in, well, first of all, we have to discuss some of the limited releases. Oh, God, that's awful. There was one movie that made like $9,000 this week, so that sucks. Hell or High Water, Anthropoid, and Florence Foster Jenkins all came out in kind of limited release or whatever. Hell or High Water came out with $592,000, which I hear is a very good fucking film. I cannot wait to check that out whenever it comes out. Anthropoid, $1.2 million. I actually really want to check that out, but I don't know if I want to pay $10 for it. And Florence Foster Jenkins, that's the Meryl Streep movie, came in at number 8 with $6.5 million. And it came out in 1,500 theaters, so I guess it's okay. All right, so number 5 is Bad Moms with $11.4 million. This thing's a fucking juggernaut. Dear Lord. Its budget is $20 million, so you double that, and with marketing, you're looking at maybe $50 million to break even. It's made 77 worldwide and 71 domestic, which is the U.S. and Canada. That's insane. And for the directors, John Lucas and Scott Moore, who directed, the Hangover movie, the first one. Or no, they didn't direct it. Sorry. Excuse me. Realized I'm wrong. They wrote it. They haven't really had a hit since then. So the fact that Bad Moms is doing so well, that's awesome. So good for them. I thought Bad Moms was fine. It's just an average little comedy. And Catherine Hahn is bae. All right. Number 4 is Jason Bourne with $13.6 million. Okay, domestically, it's at 126, and worldwide, it's at 246 on a budget of 120. So double that, you're looking at 240. But with marketing, I'm going to say they probably spent about 30 to 40 million. So I'm going to say for shits and giggles that it needs about 275 to break even. So the fact that it's at 246 worldwide, I mean, it's pretty good. I really like the movie quite a bit. I think it's a very solid action film. So number 3. Pete's Dragon with $21.5 million. Okay. So domestically right now it's at 21 and worldwide it's at 26. And its budget is 65. So double that. We're looking at 130. And with marketing, I'm going to say probably 20 to 30. So I'm going to say for shits and giggles, 150 to break even. It's at 26 worldwide. And, I've talked to a lot of people and they didn't even fucking know this movie was coming out. So, like I said, it's not anything spectacular. If you want to wait until it comes out on rental or DVD or whatever, I would suggest to see it that way versus like Sausage Party, where I gave a lower grade, but I still would recommend seeing it in theaters. Number 2, Sausage Party with $33.6 million. That's actually a lot. That's a lot more than I thought I would make, and I didn't think it was going to make that much, but 33.6 is fucking phenomenal for that movie. Its budget is $19 million, so to double that, you're looking at 38. With marketing, I'm going to say for shits and giggles, once again, $50 million to break even. The fact that it's at 33 right now is awesome. So it'll definitely make its money back and then some. So congratulations. Congratulations. And number 1, second week in a row, Suicide Squad with $43.7 million. Right now, domestically, it's at 222, which is insane. Worldwide, it's at 465. Its budget is 175, so double that, you're looking at 350. But with marketing, I'm going to say they spend a lot of marketing. So I'm going to say $450 million to break even. The fact that it's at 465 tells me just by like a guesstimate that it's actually in the green right now, making a little bit of profit, but it still needs to make a lot more to consider like a success. Right now, it's just kind of doing okay. Saw the movie again during the week, guys. I gave it a C plus on last week's episode. I gotta tell you, I gotta drop it down to a C minus. It is not that. It's just not good. Like after seeing it twice, I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't fucking buy it. I don't want to rewatch it. Sorry. So yeah, I know I have a change of heart. So that will do it, guys, for this week's episode of Real Me and Colin Movie Podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening. And once again, watching on YouTube and you want an audio only version, link will be in the description below. If you're listening on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, or SoundCloud, and you want a video version, link will be in the description below. And Facebook Live, continue the conversation down below, and I will answer them accordingly. And yeah, this was episode 142, guys. For next week, episode 143. I will have my reviews of War Dogs and Kubo and the Two Strings. Looking forward to both. It should be another good weekend. So that will be next weekend's show. And then the following weekend, so 2 weeks from now, I will have Carrie Darling on from the Star Telegram, the news outlet in Fort Worth, Texas. And he was on last year, and we talked about our fall movies from September to December. We're doing that again. So 2 weeks from now, I will have Carrie on, and we will talk about our fall anticipation and what movies we're looking forward to and whatnot. We'll just go week by week, and that's what the main show will be about, so it'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, but next week, though, is War Dogs and Kubo and the Two Strings. Excited to talk about those. So yeah, thank you guys for watching and listening and whatnot. You guys are fucking awesome. Every single week, you guys are the true heroes. I salute all of you. I love you all. You guys are definitely my favorite people on the planet. The people that listen to this video and audio podcast and me ranting about movies and shit. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's @RealChaseLee. Subscribe to my YouTube page to get up to date on when I do these things live. Follow me on Spreaker. Subscribe to iTunes, rate and review. Spread this around and tell people that this is a damn good podcast and you should listen to it. And maybe your ears won't bleed after the first 10 seconds. But yeah, and then Facebook Live, once again, I will see you guys next week. And then just to wrap it up, once again, I am sponsored by Rebecca Manor Photography at RebeccaManor.com. Check it out. Link will be in the description below. And the intro and outro music is done by my friend's band, Fervent Roze. Check them out. Link in the description below. And hey, listen, guys, if you made it through this entire podcast, because I know I forgot to mention in the beginning of the episode, and you were not a movie fan, well, hopefully, I convinced you to be one. I'm Chase Lee, guys. I will see you guys next week for another episode of this somewhat okay movie podcast. So I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye. Fucking sausage party, man. It's going to scar your dreams. It's going to scar you for nightmares. I'll see you guys next week.